Hi everyone. In this talk, I will share about QA engineer afterlife, three essential things we should not forget after deployment cycle. But before we jump on it, let me introduce myself. My name is Suci. I've been working in this area for more than 8 years. Currently, I'm working in Mocha as head of automation test engineer. We build the foundation of automation test and do transformation from QA manual to QA engineer. Now we do both manual and automation tests. I'm also active in building automation community in Indonesia called Atlas. It stands for Automation Test Learning and Sharing. Okay, let's start it. I believe we are already familiar with this picture. On the left side, we have shifting left that now is quite popular to adopt. It makes us more agile, and I admit it has a really good impact on applying a quality process as early as possible. We can get feedback from the beginning of the process. But what happened after the deployment? After deployment, we often just jump to the next deployment process. Doing grooming again, planning again, stand up again, and of course, deploy again. We often think that deployment is an end game, and we forget to give a room for shifting right process that it may has a really good investment and benefit for us and for company as well. So what's actually the shifting right process? And what are the items that we can put on the shifting right process? Shifting right refer to the idea of performing action later in the development process, usually in step after deployment or release. It's the opposite of the shifting left process. There are three important keywords here: measure, learn, build, or improve. The keyword number one is measure. The first one that comes to my mind when we talk about measure is what's to measure. There are a lot of things that we can measure. The best thing to do first is to look at your OKR or company goal so you can align it. And here as example that I bring, number one, we can measure number of production incident. We can measure automation test process. We also can measure our production system. The second one, after we know what to measure, we need to have a baseline. This is important because from the baseline, we can know our current state and we can know what's our goal. We also know this is already improved, this is need to be improved, and so on. And the last one is how to measure or what tool that we will use. And I strongly suggest that we could have an automated system to monitor it. For example, incident dashboard that collect incident data from customer. Or we can have automation test dashboard that collect all automation test result. We can have a production monitoring system such as API monitoring, log monitoring, and so on. The keyword number two is learn. When we already have a measurement, it will be easier to plan improvement. To improve it, we can start by learning about it to get know more about it. We can start with bundle of questions. For example, from the production incident, we can start by questioning why the incident happened. What are missing here? Any process that we skip? Where does incident cover in our test before? If it's not, why do we miss it? Is it because of the lack of time? Is it because we don't put the right priority? Or let's say it's not because we missed the test case, but it's because we have the behavior that we don't cover yet. How can we discover it early? Can we add more in the exploratory test for the next process, and so on? And from the automation process, let's say we already have data from the automation dashboard about execution time and most flaky cases. From execution time that we have, we can identify which step or states that take so long. Anything that we can improve, for example, from wait implementation. And from flaky cases, because we already know which cases are flaky, we can isolate them and find the root cause easily. From production monitoring, when we already have a production monitoring system, we can expand by questioning. Can we get alert if there is some disruption? so we can get feedback from our system if there is any disruption before our customer realize it. The last one, I put red color here because I think it's the most important for each of us. Don't forget to always asking yourself about what's for next self-learning and development. After we measure and learn it, now it's time for the execution. We can start by writing action item. We might not be able to do it at that time, but at least let's have it in our backlog. So later we can revisit and decide which one that we want to start to build or improve. And don't forget to give it priority. The last but not least is always spare time for this self-improvement or development. And if we are a leader, we should believe that giving our team time to learn and improve is really a great investment for a company. So that's all from my presentation. When we talk about shifting right, we talk about the phase after deployment. It can be how we monitor or how we measure, or it can be how we learn from it, and the most important thing is how to improve from the previous process before jumping to the next process. So let's consider to add this shifting right process after our deployment, because we can add more value in ourselves and our company process as well. And I think it can be a good investment for us. And I have a really good quote here from Jack Welch, Jr. An organization's ability to learn and translate that learning into action rapidly is the ultimate competitive advantages. And that's bring us to the end of the presentation. I would like to thank you for your time and attention, and I will be happy to open up the discussion. Please feel free to reach me on my LinkedIn or my email. Stay safe, everyone. Bye-bye.